welcome back to my channel, y'all. My name is Krizz'Tina and I'm going to be doing some SheGlam foundation review situation. Thing is I got quite a few, so if you want to know my thoughts and opinions and which one I'm actually wearing, keep watching.
I had a dream last night, did everything I never did.
Hopefully I remember to do an intro. If not, this will just be it. If you won't know, now you know. I'm Krizz'Tina, and today, y'all, I'm going to be testing out one of these 4 base makeup products from Shein. Hold on, let me turn these around so I can get a nice little thumbnail. Ooh. What we have here is the Complexion Pro foundation. This is a matte one. Then we have the Skinfinite foundation. This is a hydrating shade. We also have the full coverage foundation. This is a cream, like a really malleable cream. And then we also have the stick foundation. I'm just gonna swatch them all because when I was picking colors, if I'm being completely honest, I had no idea what to select. I feel like SheGlam could do a much better job of just having the swatches a lot more consistent and clear, because they were not very clear. So the first one I'm going to swatch is this one right here. This is their full coverage, and y'all know me, I love full coverage, but a little bit is definitely gonna go a long way. So I'm going to swatch this right here, and I'm using a spatula because I don't want to get my fingers dirty. This is in the shade Mahogany, by the way. Now, I don't know if these oxidize or not, but that's that shade. So this one, if I was going to wear it, especially if it doesn't oxidize, can y'all see me? Especially if it doesn't oxidize, this one I'm going to wind up wearing likely in the winter time. Moving on to the hydrating foundation, because I'm like, something's got to, you know, match, right? Eventually, possibly. So this is in the shade Earth. Y'all let me know what you think down in the comments. I feel like this one matches my tone pretty good, but as far as depth is concerned, it's not necessarily my shade. I would have to finesse that one. I know this one ain't my shade. So this is the Complexion Pro Matte Foundation in the shade Camel. And I'm not even doing a full pump of these. Yeah, this is not my shade. Again, when I was on the website looking at these to select them, I was like, just a little bit confused, because obviously I want to get a proper match, but like, all right. And then last but not least, the stick foundation, which I'm just going to do right here because there's, I mean, well, there's space back here, but this part of my face is deeper than the rest, and I kind of want to get a match that's as close to the center of my face as possible. Boom. This is in the shade Mocha. Now this I'm definitely going to keep because I like having foundations, cream stick foundation specifically for when I'm bronze touring. So I'm going to keep this one. Yeah, so from the looks of it, it's going to be these two. But let's get into it. So first things first, I'm going to use my Milk Hydra Grip Primer. This is my girl. I'm just going to rub this in. Ooh, it feels so good. Here lately, I've been using the NYX glitter adhesive on my smile lines, but today I'm not going to do that because I don't really have anywhere to be per se. So I'm not worried about the foundations creasing. The 2 foundations I'm going to use are these 2. So the Skinfinite Hydrating Foundation, and then the High Coverage Foundation Stick. I'm glad y'all asked me to try this, because when I tell you I had little to no intention, I really did. I really did. Mostly it was because when I received the products, I was like, these don't even match. So right off the bat, I don't really smell anything, but that could be my Texas allergies. This is what the color is looking like in comparison to the rest of my face. I wouldn't say I needed to go a shade up, because sometimes even going a shade up doesn't make much of a difference. It's more about the tone, if that makes any sense. This is I would call this full coverage. So a little goes a long way. I did do 2 pumps. I probably only needed like 1.5, but I did do 2. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna have to, I don't know, like tuck my little, tuck them up so that they're not in the way. But yeah, I definitely could have used less. I will say this though, SheGlam gets a lot of love on TikTok and on their social media platforms. I'm always seeing people in the comments, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a little surprised. I was a little surprised that there were people who actually really do love their products, only because, you know, the quality of their mother brand's clothing is not always all of that. But so this is setting in nicely. If it was my exact shade, this would actually be pretty nice. Let me bring my mirror a little closer so I'm not being deceived by the lighting in my room. This is the correct tone, right? It's neutral, but it's not the correct depth, which is why I'm gonna add the stick foundation. Like, if I take this up on my forehead, it's not going to do what needs to be done. So for the stick, I'm just gonna, not it disappearing. It disappeared. It's warming up the foundation a bit, so I'm just gonna blend it into my jawline. Yeah, it's warming up the foundation a bit, but it's not helping me bronze tour at all. Like, it's not deep enough. I'm gonna do this on the other side too, just to keep everything balanced. With their swatches side by side, I definitely didn't expect the stick foundation to just sort of disappear like that. So is this a joke? Because now I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Because I can't, well, let's see. I'm gonna say I can't put it on my forehead. Yeah, in this shade. So what I'm gonna do is make up for it by using the Anastasia Beverly Hills foundation in the shade 500C. This is my typical go-to for bronzing, like, as you can see, right? During the fall and the winter time, it's a little deep for me, so I use much less. But summertime, it's a perfect match. Blends right in with my forehead and my little tan. Okay, so let's take a look and see how the cream stick plays with a liquid on top of it. Because we got quite a few layers going on here already. So I'm going to use this to bronze tour. It's blending out nicely. I don't see any patches, and I don't see the product separating. That's the definition I was looking for though, y'all. Like, subtle, sleek. I am going to bring this down here too, just because the shade of the foundation, again, is too light. But that's the kind of definition that I was looking for. I want to see it. It doesn't have to be super bold or anything like that, but I want to be able to see it. And then I'm gonna put a little bit on my nose. Not necessarily to contour, but just so it doesn't look so flat. This is how the foundations are looking so far. Pretty good on camera. In person, this is really nice. It actually reminds me a little bit of the House Labs foundation, just because of like the radiance and just how refreshed my skin looks. Yeah, that's real nice. Okay, I'm also gonna let y'all know everything else that I'm doing. So since I use this concealer underneath my brows, I'm gonna use it underneath my eyes as well. This is the Milk Makeup Concealer in the shade 21W. I'm not gonna use a lot. Me saying that as I'm like literally rubbing it into my face, but I'm not gonna use a lot because, as I mentioned, I'm not going anywhere, so there's no need for me to go bananas with my makeup, at least not in my opinion. And then for the setting powder, I'm going to use the One Size Rich Peach. This powder, if you haven't gotten it, you need it, okay? And make sure you get your correct shade, because I feel like we have a tendency to go for lighter shades where we don't need to. Some of us, because I almost did it myself, getting the lighter shade, and I can tell you right now, unless you get fair in the winter time, you need Rich Peach. Okay, I'm just blending this out, and I'm using a dry beauty blender because I'm being lazy. But dry beauty blenders do a pretty good job of blending out the product. It's no different than the sponges that, you know, we used to use back in the day, the wedges. I'd say the only difference is this reacts to water. So if your makeup is water-based, the sponge will get all poofy. Okay, and for the powder, I'm just going to use my same sponge here. And I like to make sure that I'm rubbing it across the little holes so that I get excess product off. And then just tap it in. I'm looking this way because of my mirror, by the way, y'all. In case you're wondering, I don't know how anybody does their makeup in the camera and doesn't like completely ruin their makeup. But I'm also a bit of a, I'm not gonna say I'm a perfectionist, but I definitely have preferences when it comes to the way that my makeup looks. So I need to see it all. So I'm gonna set around my mouth, just the places that I normally put this setting powder. And then I'm gonna come along here and lightly blend it upwards. You don't have to do this, but considering that my foundations I typically wear are more on the hydrating side, I like to do it because people love hugs, you know? And if my face touches your shoulder, this powder is gonna act sort of like a line of defense, right? Like, hey, let's not transfer. Okay, cool. So now I'm going to take my foundation brush and I'm just going to press all of that in. I'm pretty much just making sure that I don't have any excess powder anywhere. All right, y'all. Now I'm like, what do I do next? What do I do next? Should I put on some blush? Do y'all think I should I put on some blush, y'all? Yeah, even with the setting powder, I can see this is this is not my shade, but I'm testing it for y'all because I care about you and you asked me to try it. Some of y'all over on Instagram. So, I don't really feel like I need any blush per se. Like, my face is all right, but what I will do is finish my eyes. So, let me just show y'all what time it is. This is the time. It is 12:57. My makeup is basically finished, other than my eyes. So, which I'm probably not even gonna I'm probably not even gonna finish my eyes, but my makeup is finished, so I will come back to y'all at the end of the day, hopefully not looking a mess, and let you know how the foundation wore as I do whatever I'm doing today. Okay y'all, so I'm back and it is now 9:21, so that is 9 hours basically of time have passed. This is how the foundations are looking. I gotta be honest with y'all. The first thing I look at when it comes to my foundation is my smile lines, as y'all know. The first thing that I look at when it comes to foundation is creasing in my smile lines. It's not happening too much, but I can see now. Yeah, it's not happening as much as it does with my other foundations, and I don't know if that's because I didn't need as much product, because this foundation, the Skinfinite Hydrating Foundation specifically, is full coverage, so I use much less than I normally do. I will say that it is very hydrating, because y'all can see all this glow and this shine. It's not sweat. I've been in my house most of the day. I mean, I did go outside in the heat for like maybe 30 minutes, but I wasn't sitting in direct sunlight or anything. So you're getting hydration for sure, or luminosity, whatever you want to call it. Because check out my cheeks and my forehead. Okay. Let me see. I would say the only thing that I don't care too much for, well, is there anything? Only thing that I don't care too much for is how it's picking up like lint and stuff, and it's sticky to my face, but that's because the foundation is hydrating. So besides that, I would say that they need to work on their shade range a little bit, and I don't know if it's necessarily the kind of colors that they have, but the way they go about communicating to potential customers what's available. Because when I was picking out each one of these foundations, y'all, I swore I was getting my shade, y'all. I swore I was getting my shade, and it was a little bit confusing. So if you go on their website, just beware. Perhaps look up some reviews of people trying the product and see if you can find what looks like your shade on another person, because yeah. And then this is also not necessarily my shade either. It's the right tone, it's just not the proper depth. So yeah, I do like how the cream foundation felt. I wish I would have gotten it in like a more I think I want to say a warm darker shade, because it would have showed up better on me. More or less, you're not gonna wind up having something that's just gonna smooth over your skin and just make your skin look like perfection in terms of texture, but radiance and photos go together like this. Like, your skin will look incredible on camera. And I did take a video of myself for Instagram, and I did look pretty good, if I do say so myself. But will I be wearing this foundation again? I don't think so. I don't think so. Only because right now, at least in the summer season, this is not going to be for me. I do have dry skin, but I like formulas that have a little bit more hold to them, and a little bit more of a, I'm not going to say a smoothing effect per se, but just something that's going to complement my complexion much easier. I did have to finesse this shade specifically, so that's a bit of a turn off. Not only that, but it's so hydrating that it's creasing in my smile lines. Although it is slight, it's not something that I care to see. That's a preference thing, but I might give it another try. But this is not something that I'm going to be picking up on a regular day basis, at least not while it's not cold outside. When it gets cold outside, I might pick this back up. Still love House Labs. So, and then as far as the foundation stick is concerned, if I had it in the proper shade, like a deep warm shade, I would definitely be picking this up a lot more often. For now, I do also have to wait for the winter time with this, because I'm just not light enough. Thank you so much for watching this video, y'all, and enduring my shenanigans. Comment down below if there's anything else from SheGlam that you want me to test or try out. If it's a foundation, I'll do a full-length video. If it's like an eyeshadow or lip gloss or something, then it's probably going to be in a YouTube short or an Instagram reel or TikTok. But don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and yeah, that's pretty much it. It's time to go eat.